Heads 2, 3, 4, shoulders 2, 3, 4, hips 2, 3, 4, body 2, 3, 4.
When I first was introduced to junior players, it was in my theater company department at my school. My teacher told us this company is coming for an audition, and if you don't do it, then you don't get the grade. And I wanted the grade.
It took like 3 days before I knew that I had found a home and a family and a place that was supportive yet challenging at the same time.
They were working on Fame, the play Fame, and I was at my house, and something happened with the other guy, so he left and whatnot, and I knew the choreographer, and so she referred me to them, and then I came and I auditioned for them, and they liked me. So actually they called my mom, and I was asleep, and I was like, I don't want to go, and so I'm glad I did though.
So this year for Taming of the Shrew, we're setting it in New York, and it's kind of post-millennial, modern society, like it was happening tomorrow, I suppose.
We're in Manhattan. You know, we have actors from LA and Nebraska in the show.
You're in New York. Time is money. Every second counts. You got places to be. You got things to do.
We're gonna be taking like selfies and stuff throughout the show. It's gonna be weird.
It's about literally the taming of a girl, or a shrew, as Shakespeare calls her.
Because it's set in Shakespeare, a lot of people can't get past the fact that it's old and bad and sexist. So by putting it in a modern setting,
Hark, I hear the DJ play.
we can see it more in a modern light and not underestimate the story.
We definitely pair the movement with the language, and whenever I'm watching, I definitely find it easier to relate whenever there's movement. It's easier to pay attention when there's something happening as opposed to just a long dialogue between two people as they're standing there. It definitely keeps my attention better.
For me, in particular, I with the lines that I say, there's always emotion to it. There's always blocking or some sort of stage direction.
Around, okay, that way, and then a little faster.
Actually, I don't know that much about Shakespeare. That's why I'm up there confused right now, because I don't know, because I never really studied it or looked at it. But it's just important to go over your script and get a feel for what you're doing. But Shakespeare, he talks in Old English, so you have to replace all the U's with V's and whatnot, and all the I's, I guess, with J's and whatnot.
So I looked up another spelling, but it also didn't have like a clear definition, and then it gave me a suggestion, so I just wonder, like, what's that word?
Staff here helps us understand the language by just going through it and explaining to us, asking if we don't know certain words, and believe me, we don't. Like some of them it's really difficult, and they just like guide us through it. You know, they're really open about it, and we could just really ask.
It's like sheet music, or like it's the scales that he's handed for her.
It's like the best environment ever, because ain't nobody gonna be like, oh, you're weird, because everybody's weird here. We're all actors. We're all trying to get better. So it's a very good environment. Very good.
Allow the awkwardness to happen, and then see if you can explore.
Do you want to do a little twirl? Yeah. Yesterday we were doing a lot of stage combat, and I was with a person I had barely just met. I didn't know his name, and we were maybe like a centimeter away from our faces, and it was like straight up kissing distance, and it was kind of like, I've never met you before, and I'm so sorry. Like, excuse the pimples on my face. I'm so sorry. I'm all up in your grill, but that was the most awkwardest moment.
Performing outside in the Samuel Grant Park Amphitheater, it was my first time experiencing that, and it was hot.
Roar!
It was really hot.
The heat on stage is very awful because when you're all trying to look beautiful and presentable and like perfectly perfect all the time, you kind of have a wall because you want people to look at you and think, oh, she's pretty or he's handsome. But when you're all just drenched in sweat and it's 106 degrees, it's very much like, I don't care what you look like. We're here to do a task. I love you even though you look crazy right now.
The experience is great, you know, and you get to meet new people and you learn so many new things, and it's a great experience overall. And it's worth, you know, if there were a price to pay, it would be worth it.
My parents don't really focus on arts. They don't see it as an important part of my upbringing, of my day-to-day life. They're just kind of removed from that.
No. If it was like $500, no, I would not be able to afford that because that's just like, first of all, my mom would be like, no, I'm not spending $500 so you can go be on stage for a little bit. So
why dost thou wrong her? That did near wrong.
I think it allows a lot of students whose families also, like mine, don't appreciate the arts to make it less of a burden on them.
There have definitely been other programs that I wanted to do and couldn't, so the fact that this is free absolutely is a lifesaver. Like, I would not have been able to do it any other way.
As an entire group, ready, go!